want to share with you like just some differences between Fuji and Sony. And I'm not like a super technical guy. Okay, I gotta sit down. You know what happened is I was drinking some coffee and I'm powered up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. I'm not like super technical. I'm not gonna be throwing like, you know, look, I've used Fuji cameras for a little while. I've used Sony cameras for a long while. I can tell you two basic things. Sony cameras have better autofocus and are more reliable. My gosh, my hair. Why can't I get this stupid hair down? Oh my God, my hair looks... Okay, I've had enough of this bullshit. That's just what it is. Sony has better autofocus, but it's just Fujifilm on the other hand makes you look prettier. That's just the truth, straight out of camera. And I know this is something that everybody knows and says, but I don't really think, I think there's like a percentage of people out there that don't really believe it. They're just like, look, man, I'm just gonna mess with the settings or edit it after, and I'm sure you can do a lot to like edit after on like a Sony picture to make it look prettier. But like, I just can't lie. Sometimes I take pictures with the Fuji and I'm just like, dang, I'm a pretty bitch. And I've never felt like that with any Sony pictures. Again, I'm not the most technical guy. I don't know everything about cameras and stuff, but I just know my experience, and from my experience shooting Fujifilm JPEGs and shooting Sony JPEGs, there's differences for sure. So what I wanted to do today was literally just take two photos and just look at the differences. And I want to say it's not all the time. I think under certain conditions, and maybe it has to do with the film simulations that I'm using, but under certain conditions, they're not always like way better looking pictures, but sometimes the pictures come out really nice in ways that I've never seen from my Sony cameras. Yeah, that's just the truth. Talking about Sony and Fuji is kind of interesting to me because I just feel like I can't get away from either. I love the results I get from Fujifilm cameras, just the way it looks. But at the same time, it's hard to get away from Sony because of their like rock solid stability. It's kind of like this. Like, and keep in mind, I'm a casual user, but it sounds like I'm using drugs. It is, I'm addicted to these cameras. But it's like this. I like the Fujifilm cameras because I can get results that I just can't get from the Sony straight out of camera. Like, it just looks prettier and it looks better. And I like it. I like them better. That's the most important part. But I like the Sonys because they're just way more consistent, especially when it comes to the autofocus. On the Fujifilm cameras, like sometimes I just can't shoot the picture. Like, I'll literally get the little red autofocus error saying that I cannot shoot this photo on Fujifilm cameras. And I look soft. Not like, I'm not talking about Blue Chew, you guys. But the photos it takes, like sometimes just don't look like they're in focus. I'm like, what is in focus? Like, it's kind of in focus, but it's not like super sharp like Sony. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe that's part of the reason why people look prettier on Fujifilm cameras, in my opinion. But regardless, let's take a couple of JPEGs and see what's going on. So check it out right here. Like, to me, it's very clear which one is better. Or not better, but I guess just more flattering. And keep in mind, these are both taken using the kit lens at 18 millimeters. This isn't like a super nice lens. This is like the lens that comes typically with the Sony or the Fuji and their older lenses. The one on the left is a Sony and the one on the right is a Fuji. Again, it's probably a matter of preference and taste, but for me, I just feel like it just depends how you look at it. For me, I feel like the one on the right, the Fuji one, is a lot more flattering. There's less contrast, which I think is good for looking pretty. Like, if you look at on your left, my eye looks like the bag is deeper on the Sony, and on the Fuji, it's a little bit more forgiving. The Sony is a little bit more green, where the Fuji is a little bit more red. But yeah, I thought it was clear. But here's just an example of auto settings, 18 millimeters, kit lens, Fuji versus Sony. And yeah, I just think it's like a different color hue, and the Sony has a lot more contrast and more detail, which is good in some situations, but maybe not as forgiving on the face. But that's it for today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you want to leave your thoughts as to why these images look like this or what you like more, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.